in Africa.
Count me down whenever you're ready. Y'all remember Harlem Nights? Wedding? Yeah, I'm with you, okay?
Sorry about that.
You know what I'm talking about then, okay?
I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Get you in there, son.
Some kind of way. And I can do this. Out the way.
All right. Here we go. Yep.
Is the cord still good?
Perfect.
All right.
All right,
We still good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right. 3, 2.
What's going on, everybody? I am your girl, Jazzy B. And you guys, I normally have special guests, but nothing, and I mean nothing, is more special than the guest that I have with me today, honey. Because y'all, I got not just a king, honey, not just a trailblazer, baby. Oh, no. I got a doctor in the house, okay? Now, I grew up with the 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what the doctor is saying on today. Dr. Umar Johnson is in the building, y'all. Clap it up at home. I know you're clapping, okay? Yeah, somebody saying, Mama, Dr. Umar is on Jazzy B's show right now. Oh, yes, he's here. So grab your aunt, grab your cousin, and even grab your son, okay? What is going on?
All is well, Queen. Thanks for having me on the show. Good afternoon in Charlotte. I'm glad to be back. It's been a long 4.5 years.
Yes, it has been a long 4.5 years, but you've done some tremendous things, honey. I sound like my grandma, tremendous.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you have done, and I want to get right into it real quick. The first time I really was exposed to you was when you were on the Breakfast Club. You were talking about raising money for a school. The idea of the school was what made me say, wow, I have to follow this man. Like, I have to follow you like we followed Jesus back in the day type of follow. You get what, because what you're doing, and not what you're saying, but what you're doing is incredible. So talk to us about the school. I did see the update. You went through some trouble with the schools and all of these different things, but now you got a school.
Yes,
so I want to talk about for people who don't know, let's talk about that thing.
Yes, ma'am. Last time I was in Charlotte in 2015, I had just began the fundraiser to purchase a school in which we could house the Frederick, Douglass, and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence.
Yes.
And originally we wanted the St. Paul's College in Virginia.
That's
we were
right.
not successful. $2 million is what we needed. We didn't get that. Unfortunately, St. Paul's has now been sold to the Chinese, which in my opinion is a little bit of a disgrace for black people to allow a historic institution to be purchased by another culture.
Yeah.
With that being said, we continued our search. We went all across the country, and ultimately God put me in Wilmington, Delaware. So this past February the 7th, exactly 1 week before we celebrate the solar return of the Honorable Frederick Douglass, we purchased not one, but two schools in Wilmington, Delaware. We have the Honorable Marcus Garvey building, and we have the Honorable Frederick Douglass building. And right now, we're trying to raise money to restore those buildings so we can go ahead and open up school next August the 21st of 2020 when we celebrate 100 years of the red, black, and green flag and the centennial of the first Marcus Garvey International Convention for African People.
Wow. So first of all, February 7th is my birthday. I'm from Virginia, which is insane.
February 7th is your birthday? February 7th
is my birthday.
We closed on February 7th.
Come on. Now listen, I felt blessed on that day, but I just didn't know how blessed until now. Come on. Yes. Wow. So, okay, I wanted you to talk about the school because I just wanted to show people that the reality of it is that you never gave up. And that was the part that was most exciting because, you know, we have a lot of people that want to do great things, or you say you want to do great things, but then as soon as doors keep shutting in your face, we stop, we give up. And it's like, you know what? The hell with black folks. They don't want to help me, you know, for what it is that I'm trying to do. What is the real reason that you continue to go even when it seems like everybody else may be shutting doors? What keeps you going?
That's a great question you asked. Right before you came in, I was asking a brother and sister were they originally from Charlotte. They said yes. And I went on to tell them that it was in this state. This is the only state I ever lived in outside of Pennsylvania.
Really?
I spent approximately 2 to 3 years of my elementary school career in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And it was in North Carolina that I decided I wanted to be a clinical psychologist.
Wow.
It was in North Carolina. I'm also tied to North Carolina for 2 other reasons. So the first is the fact that this is the state where I decided to be a psychologist.
Most definitely.
The second is it is also the state of some of my maternal ancestors. My mother's great-grandmother and father were born in North Carolina. And then thirdly, when I was last here in North Carolina in 2015, that was one of my very first, if not the first, self-sponsored lecture that I did. So from 2000, when I began my speaking career formally, when I became a school psychologist, until 2015, I had never put on my event. It was always at the request of someone else.
Wow.
So the Charlotte event that I did at Johnson C. Smith University in 2015 was the first one that I actually did myself.
Wow.
And I'm bringing that up because it's important for people who want to know me to know that my path was set early in life.
Yes.
So third grade, psychology.
Yeah.
When my parents separated, we moved back from North Carolina to Philadelphia.
Got you.
And in the elementary school I attended, we had a mandatory Black History class, 4th and 5th grade. That's also when I entered my first Black History speaking contest.
Okay, because you speak so well.
Right,
Oh my
so the
gosh.
speaking and the culture and consciousness came together. And then it was in 6th grade that I went to my first family reunion in Baltimore when I learned I was related to Frederick Douglass.
Wow.
So the psychology,
Oh, no, you're fine.
the consciousness,
Yes.
the oratory,
Yes.
and the relation to Frederick Douglass, all that was sealed before I left elementary school. And I've never left the path.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So, okay, so speaking of certain things that was already sealed in our lives, a lot of things that were already just ordained prior to, you know, us knowing anything in life. So what I want to talk about, the topic of you being here. This topic has been on my mind for a long time. And I literally prayed that one day I would have a powerful guest that I can actually finally do this particular segment. And it's all about healing. I want to do a segment called, you guys, Rolling Up the Rug. Now, what rug are we talking about? We're talking about the rug that's not just in Black people's homes, but the rug that's in every person's home, really. But the rug of molestation, the rug of, you know, our parents not wanting us, or just whatever it is that we've been through, how Black folks, how we just sweep it up under the rug. We know that summertime just officially hit. And most time before summer starts, we start spring cleaning and getting everything together, but we always leave that rug right there. So because you are here today, we want to go ahead and snatch the rug up a little bit, and hopefully this can help some people's homes. I pray if it can just help one person, we've done our job. So rolling up the rug, if you can educate us a little bit, and I know you can, on how does these type of things even start in our home? Why are we almost taught to keep things in our house and not discuss them? Why are we taught that if somebody molests us and we tell somebody that it's a bad thing, like, you know what, don't tell nobody else that, let's keep it here. Can you just talk to us even just a little bit about the history or the mindset that we have when it comes to sweeping things under the rug?
Sure, there's a couple things. And this is an excellent question. It may have been the first time I've been asked it.
Wow.
So you come up with some very good questions,
Thank
my
you.
queen. Firstly, let's understand something. Coming from the African-American tradition, through slavery, through oppression, understanding what systematic racism has done to us, we have had a culture of silence. We never told what happened to protect our loved ones. Okay, now the question becomes, what happens when your loved ones need protecting?
Come on now.
That's the issue, because then at that point you say, well, wait a minute now. We can't trust white America's institutions. We know that. But I got somebody hurting, they've been molested by another African. We know what the system will do to Africans if they know this. So ultimately what happens is we end up suffering in silence. The victim, even in their pain, would rather hold on to it than expose the perpetrator for fear of what pain could be caused by them.
Come on
so
now.
basically the victim has assumed double pain, their own and the pain of the perpetrator, which would have been exposed had they told. And I think, unfortunately, the issue, to some extent, is at the feet of the Black mental health systems. When I look at the Black psychologists, the Black counselors, the Black psychiatrists, the Black social workers, respectfully speaking, I don't think we have done enough to create the systems at the community level that would allow our people who need healing to tap into it without going to the slave master.
Come on now.
So it's okay to not want to tell the slave master, but it's not okay to let somebody suffer in silence when they need to expose that pain, get healing, but more importantly, hold the person accountable for what they did.
Accountability.
When you look at the R. Kelly situation, not to bring it into this, but it is the time of these. One of the biggest contradictions in that is not whether or not R. Kelly needs to be held accountable. I think everyone agrees that he does. The issue is he to be held accountable by the same people who are responsible for perpetuating every ill that we suffer as a people? How can the white man be the distributor of justice when he has been the perpetrator of so much injustice?
Come on now.
That's why people disagree with the R. Kelly situation. Not that Robert is innocent. He's not. But the fact that you want him to be held accountable by someone who has yet to do any accounting for the evil they've committed against us.
And even speaking on the R. Kelly thing, because, you know, what I love about you is how you always say you're so unapologetic. And I love it because we're living in a day now where we renege, almost like we're playing spades. As soon as you say what you mean and mean what you say, when the internet tell you that you shouldn't have said that, now all of a sudden you put out a pop. No, say what you mean.
Stick to your grounds.
But the R. Kelly situation for me, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, he's guilty, flat out. But also, this is something that's happened to him as a child.
It's intergenerational trauma and pain. And if you want to bring justice to any situation where trauma or pain has transpired, you have to make sure that healing is involved. And you have to make sure accountability is involved at every level of the trauma. So if grandma molested granddaughter and granddaughter molested great-granddaughter and great-granddaughter molested great-great-granddaughter, if you're only going to hold granddaughter accountable, but we're not going to go after mom or grandma, then there's no justice, because a selective justice where we want to single out people but ignore the others is no justice at all.
Wow.
Get them all or don't get any.
Can you say that?
Get them all or don't get any. Even when I go back to the R. Kelly situation, again, because it's so timely, tying it into your question, what about the parents who serve their daughters up? Is there no accountability? You had fathers who gave their daughter to this man. You had mothers. So I'm saying, yes, get Robert, but get them all.
Get them
because
all.
I don't believe in partial justice.
Come on now.
The white man does partial justice. Black people, we do holistic justice. That's from where the word holy comes from. Because when we say something is holy, it means everybody who needed to be dealt with got dealt with.
Y'all, Dr. Umar Johnson is in the building, y'all. Dr. Umar Johnson is in the building, and you are speaking. That was my point, and it's like, oh my God, we're going to get off the R. Kelly thing, but good God, this is real. This is a real
And I want to take you somewhere else.
Take me.
I want to take it to reparations. And I'm going to tell you I want to take it to reparations. I believe in reparations.
Come on now.
We're entitled to it. As you know, it's a big political topic.
Yes.
Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, who's the white guy who knew it? Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
Everyone is being asked to state their position on reparations. I believe in reparations, but I also believe in restoration. And before there can be external economic reparations paid to Africans, there must be internal restoration. What do I mean? I mean that there's things that we must fix as a people that no price tag can help us with. You cannot fix self-hate with money. You cannot fix intergenerational trauma with money.
Yes, sir.
The biggest problems affecting black people don't have a price tag.
Come on now.
We still are entitled to the reparations as an act of justice, but the reparations will not lead to restoration unless there's first internal repair. So let's talk about what we talk about. All this pain, this hurt. It don't matter how much money you get. It's not going to undo those things. And the problem with black people is we bought into the American lie. And the American lie is that you can purchase your way out of psychological pain. You cannot purchase your way out of psychological pain. In fact, the belief that you can purchase your way out of psychological pain is why we have so many people suffer from addiction.
Come on now.
What is alcoholism? What is marijuana addiction? What is eating addiction? Sex addiction? Shopping addiction? Crack addiction? You know what that comes from? Believing that if I just digest enough crack, smoke enough weed, drink enough alcohol, my problems will go away. Psychological problems don't have a physical etiology. You cannot touch depression. You cannot touch self-hate. You cannot touch low self-esteem. You understand? So if you cannot touch it, how can you possibly pay for its removal?
What? Listen, I'm just saying, if Kanye done started a church, why can't you? You need to be here with somebody. All I'm saying is you got it. Wow. Restoration. My God.
We got to restore family. We got to restore trust. We got to restore loyalty. We got to restore unity. For example, people talk about the demise of the black family. Slavery destroyed the black family. Biggest lie out. Our ancestors were married all through slavery. You don't see the rise of a single black mother raising kids by herself until 1970.
Wow.
You know why? Because 1970 was the year that the United States government, 2 years after they murdered Dr. King, decided that we're going to cripple the black man economically. Because if we cripple the black man economically, we cripple the black family. Because we make the black man economically irrelevant to the black woman.
Woo.
That's what killed the black family. It was economics, not slavery.
Wow.
Mass incarceration is what's killing us. Right now, what do you hear everybody talking about? The young people, the teenagers out there, the way the young ladies are dressing, and the guys ain't respecting the women, and everybody just want to be seen, and being liked on YouTube has replaced being paid.
Come on now, come on now.
Because teenage pregnancy, a byproduct of the economic marginalization of the black male and the mass incarceration of the black man, has created a dynamic where the mother is the only parent in the home, which creates a lack of supervision because she has to work multiple jobs. That is what allows the daughter to get pregnant, and she's not even looking for sex, she's looking for love. She's looking to replace the love that was taken away by the incarceration of the dad. And when your father's not there to love up on you, any teenage boy will do. Teenage pregnancy is not sex, it's a need to be validated by your daddy. Remember, a mother teaches the daughter how to be a lady, but it's the father that baptizes her womanhood. He says you're worthy to be a wife. Your father says you're worthy to be a queen. Your mother can't say that. Your mother can tell a daughter all she wants, you worthy to be a queen, you worthy to be a wife, you worthy to be an empress. But until the father baptizes and looks his daughter in the face and says, you are good enough to be a wife, only then does she know I'm good enough. She has to hear it from a man in order for her to expect it from men.
When I tell you, you are so on my pew that it don't make no sense. I was that girl, literally, while I was raised by my grandparents. I had two parents where they both had struggled with drugs back in the day and different things. And then my mom ended up passing away 2 years ago. Now, here's the thing. I still had a relationship with my mom, off and on with my dad whenever he would call, but it played such a major part in my role because the way my heart always has been, I love hard, and I don't care what you didn't do, where you was, and I care about you being my father or my mother. And with that being said, I went through things in my marriage. I went through things in relationships that I never should have accepted, that I never should have stayed around for. But because I did not have that, and you can have people, men, to step in and play the role as your dad. You're not the dad. You want your father to tell you, your biological
and
father.
Mothers have to understand, fathers have to understand, you do not have a right to replace the biological parent, irrespective of their mistakes and mishaps that they made.
Come on.
I know adults, 60 and 70 years old, still searching for their mother and father because there's no place like home.
There's no place like home.
And step parents have to humble themselves and understand you were the stand-in daddy and you did a hell of a job and that child loves you. But please don't take it personal that she wants to know her own DNA. You understand?
Can I speak on that? Because that was something that, thank God, my grandma, my grandparents who raised me, we were able to heal. For a long time, my grandma and I, we bumped heads a lot. Because in my heart, I felt that, and this is just in my heart, my beliefs was that she didn't understand that I could appreciate the fact that she took us in, that we didn't have to go to foster care. They didn't have to separate us. That they took all three of us in, but I just wanted her to understand that I'm still going to love my mom and vice versa. She felt her own way, but thank God we were able to talk about it now. But that's a real thing. As a kid, it is the worst feeling to feel that you can't love your parents because you feel like you're disrespecting somebody else.
Exactly, and no child should be put in that place. In fact, what the foster parent should do, the adoptive parent, should let the child know. This is how it's supposed to be done. Your father just came back into your life. I want you to know that I don't have a problem with you building a relationship with him. I'm always going to be your dad. I'm the one who raised you. I don't want you to feel any conflicts about getting to know the man that's responsible for being here. I'm your dad, but I didn't bring you into this world. He did. His ancestors are your ancestors. So this is not a bad thing that he's back. It's a good thing because now you got me and him. Daddy times two. That's what you're supposed to do. As opposed to, what are you going to do? Put him over me? That's dysfunctional. You never force a child to choose. It's no different when a mother and father can't get along and then they step in and they ask all the child, who you want to go with? him or me. You don't put that on no child.
Come on now.
They are part you and part of him. And when the parents fight, the children lose because you're only attacking yourself.
And you know, my husband and I, we had went through parts in our relationship. And you know, this is the part they don't tell you about marriage. They don't tell you that that there's more. You actually go through more when you get married than when before you was married. And they don't tell you how you get to longevity. But 10 years next year, we'll be married. I got married at 18. He was 19. So we young with it, you know. But I said all that to say that we experienced parts in our marriage where I left. And I remember actually having to be a woman and actually make a choice that who he is as a husband is not who he is as a father.
That's
and
right.
I actually had to say, okay, I can't let my child suffer because me and your daddy not getting along right now. And so with that, I hear you speak on that a lot. So speak on that just one more time.
And I commend you for that, because unfortunately we have a lot of sisters in our community who are not strong enough to separate their personal pain with a man from his right to father his children. Too many women do that.
And men will treat you better. Like, he honestly, to be honest, he treated me better than what he did before I left.
And a lot of that comes from the fact that we have been raised again under a European ethos that says that the child belongs to the mother. You see, that comes from slavery that says we belong to the slave master. In African culture, our spiritual narrative says that the child doesn't belong to the mother or the father. The child belongs to the village. The child came from God through the mother and the father to the village. And that's why we have a saying, it takes a village. There's no such thing as this is your child. This is our child. And the reason it's our child is because if you make a mistake raising that child, guess who's going to suffer from it? The community. If your child becomes a killer, who's going to suffer? The community. If your child becomes a pedophile, who's going to suffer? The community. If your child becomes a thief, who's going to suffer? The community. So there's no such thing as confidentiality when it comes to children. Children belong to the village. And if we get back to the village, we can solve most of our problems, because I personally believe all of our problems stem from the fact that we have gotten away from the village. The collective consciousness that solves the problems. If we had a collective consciousness, we can get out the economic problem. We can solve mass incarceration. We can solve the low marriage rate for black women if we get back to the village. But we have bought into the European ice mentality that is about me, myself, and I, and there is no I in culture.
Come on now. No I in culture. Speak that. Y'all, real quick, I want you to make sure you chime in, because we're getting ready to move along to this segment. Don't at the doc, ask the doc. So this is your opportunity at home right now to ask the doc any question that you may have. Like I said, we're not going to at him. We're going to ask him. This is your opportunity right here, right now, to ask any question that you need to be asked. Okay, so I'm getting ready to give you a moment. Okay, so think of your question and make sure it's a good one, because my girl Kels is going to be coming in and letting us know what you're asking right here, right now.
Let us also let them know, so we don't forget, tonight. Dr. Umar Johnson is here in Charlotte for the first time in 4.5 years at the Carol Hoefener Center. What's the address there? Does anyone know?
So I don't know the address right now, but what we're going to do, we're going to make sure we drop that in the comments below. It'll be on the video. We'll do a video right after this, just making sure we got the address for y'all, because we need y'all to show up and show out tonight.
And that's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Doors at 7. We're going to talk about the school to prison pipeline, special education holocaust, the ADHD hustle, learning disability, autism, vaccinations, presidential election 2020, male-female relationships, state of the black community, the political economy, and so much, much more. There will be a question and answer session, and I do have copies of my book, Psychoacademicholocaust, the special education and ADHD wars against black boys. It is a must-read for all black parents raising black children in these United States.
Wow. And speaking of all black parents raising black children, I have a 4-year-old black son, and I remember
no meds, no special ed, no vaccinations if you can help it.
If I can help it, trust me when I tell you, I'm not into it at all. I don't even do medicine myself, and that's half the reason why I'm... But anywho, off of that, knowing something new, what I love so much is that I'm a movie person. So I remember watching a movie called Salt with Angelina Jolie in it, right? And it was a part where they were training the young folks in the other country on really how to be spies and different things. And what was so funny though, but they actually teach these kids at a young age, train them early. And so much so where it kind of reminded me of your school, of the mindset. And I love it because I'm the girl, and I don't know about y'all at home, I get upset when I think about what I learned in school. I get pissed off, to be quite honest, because I'm like, why didn't I know about credit? Why didn't I know about half the things that, even voting right? I mean, you really don't learn about a lot of the things that we should learn. And so with your school, when you were saying all the things even from the military aspect of it, just all of the training, for some people who wasn't listening or watching, can you share with people all of the courses and training that you can learn in your school?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Before I do, let me speak to something you just mentioned.
Yes.
You said when I was in school, we didn't learn about economics, money, real estate. You know why?
Why?
The Rockefeller family, the oil magnates, they created a general board of education. I'm not talking about the public board of education.
Wow.
This was the Rockefeller Board of Education. They created it to supervise the textbooks that went into America's public schools and the instruction and curriculum that children were taught, with the deliberate intent of keeping economic studies outside of the public school. Their belief was, if we teach them how to master money, there will come a day when they will be richer than us.
Come on now.
So the Rockefeller family, you can do your research on it. This is all documented, deliberately dumbed down public education by control of the textbooks to make sure children were never taught how money works.
Wow.
And that's why at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, one of the first curriculums is the economic and financial curriculum. We want them to learn how to do their own taxes.
Come on now.
We want them to understand real estate. We want them to understand multinational investments. We want them to understand business planning. We want them to understand that we support you going to college if that's what you want to do. You'll be more than ready. But we also want you to understand that college, for the first 20 years of this 21st century, has been a financial trap for black people. We have over 2 million black people with college degrees, unemployed, homeless.
Come on.
I get emails from lawyers and doctors looking for work.
Wow.
College is a hustle.
Come
and
on.
The reason it's a hustle is because they will give you a degree, but they won't guarantee you a job. See, in 1970, let's go back again.
Let's go back.
That's the decade of economic castration of the black man. They cut off our phallus economically.
My God, yes.
And one of the things that they did in the high schools, Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, Elizabeth City, Wilmington, Jacksonville, is they went into the high schools and took out all the skills that pay the bills.
Come on.
Up until 1970, you could graduate from high school as a licensed plumber, licensed carpenter, licensed electrician, licensed auto body mechanic. You didn't need to go to college. Think about it. Your great-grandfather didn't have to go to college and probably live a better life than we live with 3 master's degrees because he had the skills that pay the bills. So then they took away all the trades and said, you don't need this. Go to college. And you get a PhD in general arts, general studies, liberal arts. That liberates you to do what? Not find any work. You've been liberated from employment. So what they've done is they bait and switch. So now when you look around Charlotte, all the new construction projects, who do you see building them? Mexican, Latino, Chinese, Anglo-Saxon. Where are the black men? They say, well, y'all don't have the paperwork. Y'all don't have the licenses. They tricked us away from the trades and put us into long-term debt through university education.
Wow. So you said something on the interview that I love. You talked about how it's easy to judge when you've always been comfortable. And you were saying it in regards to how some people will do things because they're desperate. And if you've never been hungry, if you've never had a sleepless night, if you've never actually had to look at your kids and know that they're hungry and you don't know, you can never say what you won't do or what you.
Exactly.
So
until you're put in that position.
It's
like the pastor of a church. And I support religion. I don't have a problem with the black church, but I do have a problem with the way some black religious leaders operate politically and economically.
Come on.
How can I, as a pastor of a church who's living comfortably off the people's money,
come on now,
sit up here and say that those who steal will go to hell, when the only reason why I'm not one of them stealing is because I'm living off your money?
Come on.
See, it's easy for me to judge when you're not there. I find myself all the time, correcting other college-educated doctors who want to look down on less fortunate black people, talking about why he's stealing, why he's selling dope. Well, guess what? You one bench warrant away from being a drug dealer your damn self. You would be Ray Ray. You would be Pookie. The only difference is you was given an opportunity. He was not given. And it hurts my heart
Yes.
as a doctor of clinical psychology, as a black professional, to see so many other black professionals cast doubt and look down on brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Criminals are not born. Criminals are made. You can make a criminal out of any successful black
Yes,
person
you can.
if you put a felony on their record
Yep.
and take away their ability to feed their family.
My God.
All of us are criminals waiting to be made.
Doggone it, y'all. All right, Kales, give it to me straight real quick, because I got more questions for the doc, but I want to know right now, is there anybody who have a question to not at the doc, but ask the doc?
Yes, so one of the questions is, in Africa they have economic freedom fighters. Why are we in America still focused on civil and not economic?
Well, number one, great question. And number one is, in Africa, they're only 60 years removed from their form of slavery, known as colonialization or colonialism. We are 153 years removed. So what the African can see clearly, the black man needs bifocals to see. Africans are much more ready for revolution because they do not have the illusion of inclusion that we suffer from. The white man has did a good job making black people think we're doing better than what we are. So we see a Mercedes-Benz, we see a house in the suburbs, we see a Louis bag, some Gucci flip-flops, we see a PhD, a JD, a MD, a Psy.D, and we think black people are doing all right. In Africa, they have that as well. But because most Africans are struggling and they don't have the facade of material progress, it's more easier to organize black Africans than it is to organize black Americans. And another big reason why you have that difference is because black people in America don't want liberation. They want participation. The African on the continent wants freedom, and he knows what it is to be free. Black people in America don't want freedom. We just want to participate in our slave master's reality. In other words, the average African American does not need racism to stop.
Wow.
They are not opposed to white supremacy. The only thing they are opposed to is the position white supremacy gave them within the hierarchy. This is why when you look at our history, many of our greatest minds who talk all that black talk when they were broke became stone coons when the cash came in. Because you never know a man's heart until you put him in a position where he's more comfortable than what he was before.
Yeah.
See, poverty doesn't really try your soul. Wealth tries your soul.
Come on.
Because it shows the people who you really were.
Yes.
There's a quote from James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. He said the condition don't make the man. The condition reveals the man to himself.
Come on.
If 10 years from now you catch Dr. Umar with a white woman, it wasn't dating the white woman or working with the white woman or living with the white woman that allowed me to fall in love with her. I always had it in me to be with a Caucasian. If I sell out the people and contradict everything I stand for today, it wasn't that time, that day, that day. The coon was already in this heart. It just needed the manifestation.
Give me some elbow. Give me some elbow. Oh.
And I love Africa, by the way. And let me clarify. The Honorable Marcus Garvey never wanted to take everybody back to Africa.
Come on.
He said only those who could contribute. And I want to reiterate that.
Yes.
Because when you hear Pan-Africanism, it has become synonymous with everybody go home.
Yeah.
The Honorable Marcus Garvey said, quote, some of you are no good in America, and you damn sure won't be no good in Africa.
Wow.
The only people who go to Africa are those who have the mindset and the power to help Africa fix itself. And why is Africa relevant to black America? I mean, we on the other side of the Atlantic. What difference does it make? You know why? Because a strong man is strong everywhere. And the respect you get is a direct reflection of the respect given to your international homeland. Why are Chinese respected on every continent? Because China is respected. Why are Jews respected on every continent? Because Israel is respected. Why are Anglo-Saxons respected on every continent? Because Germany and England are respected. And why are black people disrespected everywhere you live?
Everywhere.
I've spoken on every continent except Australia. I've spoken in most major cities across the world. And wherever we are disrespected, even in Africa.
Yep, and imitated.
Until Africa is strong, you will remain weak.
Doggone it. Take that one, honey, okay? Whoever asked that question, I want you to take that thing in, okay? Do we got one more question for the doc?
Yes. Someone wants to know, do you think us as black people will be further in the world if they would have never kept us segregated in our own communities?
Segregation. First of all, let's stop blaming the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King for integration. Dr. King was dead before integration came. Furthermore, Dr. King did not fight to integrate. He fought for access to opportunity. There's a big difference between saying he needs to go over there, he needs to go over there, she needs to go over there, versus everybody needs to go over there.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be strategic.
Ooh.
We were not supposed to give up our black schools and send every black child to a white school.
Come on.
We were not supposed to give up our black hospitals and send every black person to a white hospital.
Come on now.
We were not supposed to give up our black businesses and send every black business person to the white people's economic infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
You know why integration came? Because black folks have been waiting for more than 300 years to finally get a chance to be accepted by their slave master.
Come on.
Listen, America never forced integration on black folks. You cannot show me any piece of legislation that forced black people to be with white folks.
Yeah.
The only thing America did was desegregate. To desegregate is not to integrate. To desegregate is to remove all physical and legal barriers that prevent your participation. But the only person who can guarantee your participation is you. Let me give you a question.
Come on.
We have 100 historically black colleges and universities right now. A third of them are in jeopardy of being closed. We just lost 3 this past year. I tried to buy one 4 years ago. Can I ask you a question? With over 100 HBCUs, why are black students still going to the University of North Carolina? With 100 HBCUs, why are black students still going to Duke? With 100 HBCUs, why are we still going to white universities? Because we believe the white man's ice is colder. This has nothing to do with the United States government. This has nothing to do with Dr. King. This has to do with Negroes who think the white man are better than themselves.
Isn't it kind of crazy that we would trust, a white person sometimes before? I've actually, especially in this business, and I'm sure you know, there's people who like, I can't have no black person in my accountant. I can't have no black person in my, I gotta have me a white lawyer. I gotta have me a white attorney. I gotta have me a white. Have you actually heard people actually say, well, they probably won't say it to you.
Oh, yeah.
But you see it.
Oh, you see it.
What is it? Isn't it? It's weird because other races will trust each other. They build together. But what us?
But let us be clear.
Come on.
And you're absolutely correct. But slavery, right, was systematic self-hatred training. 243 years. I'm going to teach y'all how to self-destruct. So when I take these chains off, you will continue to work for your self-destruction. See, when slavery ended, going back to restoration, there was never a healing period after slavery ended. We went straight from the whip to the chain gang. And straight from the chain gang to the prison. You see that? There was no healing in. So that conditioning, remember this, conditioning continues until it is replaced by a better conditioning.
My God.
What our ancestors were taught in 1619 is still operating in your psyche today because it was never replaced.
My God.
If you ask me, what is the #1 symptom of post-traumatic slavery disease right here, right now? I would say the mere fact that black people are a $2 trillion people, the richest group of black people in the world, but you don't have a single community in America where black people own the supermarket to feed life, the bank to invest in life, the school to train the life, in the hospital to save the life. You don't have a black community in America where we own all 4 of those institutions, but yet $2 billion a year on Air Jordan, but yet $4 billion a year on malt liquor, but yet $1 billion a year on McDonald's, but yet $20 billion on beauty products. But your child don't have a school that he can go to and not have to worry about being trapped in the school to prison pipeline. Your son don't have a school he can go to and not have to worry about being misdiagnosed with ADHD, conduct disorder, ODD, retardation, emotional disturbance, and put on Ritalin, Adderall, Concerta, Metadate, Cycler, which is no different than the crack cocaine that sent his daddy to jail. Here's the question. Why would black parents send a black child to a white school to be taught by white teachers whose job is to prepare them to be successful in life when the only thing white people ever did to black people for 400 years was train us how to fail at life?
We got another question. We got another question, because let me tell you something. I hear the organ playing. All I'm saying, can y'all believe we are really sitting here and getting this up close and personal right now? Can you believe this? What's the question? Go ahead, throw it at us.
And let me say this before the next one. To all my listeners out there, please donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy Restoration Fund. We have 4 buildings on that campus. 4. 2 schools, 4 total.
Okay.
In order to renovate electric, roof, HVAC, plumbing, sprinkler, $1 million total. If we get $500,000, we can renovate 2 buildings. If we get $250,000, we can do 1.
Okay.
So give what you can. There's 2 ways to donate. The first is on the Cash App, and it is $FDMG School. Again, on the Cash App, you can donate right now. $FDMG School. The full link is cash.me/$FDMG School. I repeat, cash.me/$FDMG School. Second way to donate, check a money order payable to FDMG Academy, 9634 Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And the last way to donate, come out tonight to hear Dr. Umar live at the Carol Hoefener Center, 8 o'clock, doors at 7. Bring your check or money order payable to the FDMG Academy. We also got some envelopes that'll be waiting for you tonight. And you can stick your money in there. Make sure you put your name, phone number, and email on it, because when we open up the school, I'm going to have a special reception to honor all my donors. Whether you gave a penny or whether you gave $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000, we want to pay respect to those who are responsible for that school being ours.
Yes. Y'all gonna see me at night with the offering basket, okay? Okay, y'all make sure, but I just want to say this real quick before the question is asked. When someone is doing something, and there's so many people in our world, especially like, oh, I'm not giving no money because I don't know where the money is going to. Understand where this money is actually going to. We give money to all different type of people, and we don't know what they're doing with that money. Well, the proof is in the pudding, okay? So understand what you are doing. If you have a black son, a black nephew, a black cousin, a black dad, if you're black yourself, period, understand what he is doing. This is not just a move. This is a movement. So make sure that you took those Cash App information down. And if you didn't, Carol's gonna drop it down before the video is over. So what is the question? But make sure you do what exactly what he is saying, because I will.
You said you purchased 2 schools in Wilmington, Delaware. They want to know a little bit more information about that.
What would they like to know in particular? And the reason I asked that is there are some things that you give out to the public, and then there's other things that nobody needs to know, because it's internal business information. So depending on what they want to know, I can probably tell, but if it's something too sensitive, I won't tell. And I will say this, I've been transparent to a fault. So transparent that my haters have prevented us from getting several schools that we should have got before the schools in Delaware. You know, when I would do the school walkthroughs and show people the schools I was considering, guess what these Negroes would do? They would call the realtors and say, you don't want him to buy a school because he don't like white people or he don't believe in Yes, they would sabotage the sale. So I can't be transparent because you got about 12 Negroes on YouTube. Y'all know who they are. Who have no life. Umar Johnson is their whole life. They make a video about me every day. Most of them I never met in the flesh.
Of course not.
And because they get so many views by mentioning my name, they have made a life out of assassinating my works and character. So that's why I can't be transparent. Let me give an example.
Go ahead.
Last Tuesday, we had cleanup day at the Marcus Garvey building.
Most definitely.
All we did was collect all the books, the furniture, the desk, organize it, take it across the street to the Frederick Douglass building. Because we're going to try to get the Marcus Garvey building renovated first because it's smaller. So to save us some money. Right? Guess what the haters from YouTube did?
What they do?
They called the city of Wilmington, license and inspection. And they came out and we were going to be shut down, our cleanup day. And they said, you went live and we got phone calls that you had people in the buildings doing construction work. You can't do construction work unless you got a license and a permit. I said, sir, take a look. We are moving furniture, sweeping and mopping. We're cleaning up so when the contractors do come, they can do their job without being hurt. Ain't nobody in here laying no tile. Ain't nobody fixing no wires. Ain't nobody laying no roof. But the jealous imbeciles off YouTube tried to get a cleanup day shut down for a school for our children. That's why I can't be transparent anymore.
Well, let me tell you, that was the reason why I threw flowers at your feet when you walked in. And let me tell you, for real, the real reason behind it is because I've done my research. I see what people are saying. I hear what people are saying. But once again, I know a king when I see a king. And at the end of the day, what you're doing is ministry. And there's going to be so many people who's going to be praying for your downfall. We talk about it on social media. Oh, we got to protect this guy. People who don't need no protection because they're not doing nothing for us.
Exactly.
But for the guys like you, the kings like you, who needs us to protect you, we shouldn't be downing you when you're doing something for our future. And that's the part that people are missing. I have watched your videos. I'm talking about in and out. I have never heard you say I hate white people. I've never heard you don't. People. If you're talking about your own race, and I think that's the problem because we're so accustomed to never hearing good things about our own race.
And we're not allowed to be proud.
We're not allowed to be proud.
Have you noticed that? If a Puerto Rican,
come on,
and most of them are racially African, but for the sake of conversation, if a when Dallas Mavericks beat LeBron James' Miami Heat and won the NBA title, the point guard for the Dallas Mavericks, backup point guard, he was a Puerto Rican. The first thing he did was grab the Puerto Rican flag. He ran around with it. When the French... When somebody who's French is on the team, they'll grab the France flag and they'll run around with it. Have you ever seen a black athlete grab the red, black, and green flag and celebrate? Never. Because we're not allowed to be proud to be black. They have demonized being black so much that to be proud of it is a sin.
Wow.
And that's why the Honorable Marcus Garvey said, they made being black a sin, I will make it a blessing.
Come on. Yes.
It is black pride, it is black power, and that's why I don't support black men who date white girls. You understand? It ain't because I hate white women. You understand? But I love my sisters.
Yes.
And my sisters come before Chinese.
Come
and
on.
my sisters come before the whites.
Come
and
on.
my sisters come before the Jews. And there is no beauty that does not start and end with the black woman. And what really bothers me is when I see these coons with their Caucasian cave queens walking down the street and they see a black woman, they will go out of their way, and I know y'all know what I'm talking about, they will go out of their way not to acknowledge you. To prove to the white woman that you're so special to me that I'm not even going to acknowledge my own sister.
You speaking real
A
now.
black man with a white woman ain't nothing but a coon with a Caucasian queen. That's no disrespect to her, but it is disrespect to him. There are more black women on the planet than any other population. The black woman is the most numerous population. So if you can't find a good sister in America, get her from Brazil. If you can't get her from Brazil, get her from Jamaica. Can't get her from Jamaica, get her from Antigua. Can't get her from Antigua, get her from Canada. You can't get her from Canada, get her from London. You can't get her from London, get her from Australia. You can't get her from Australia, get her from Ghana, Nigeria, get her from Kenya, Malawi, the Congo, Zimbabwe, South Africa.
Hear black women
excuse. It's no excuse for a black man not to have an African woman. If you want her light, we got light, as light bright as you can get. We got lemon, we got French vanilla, we got butter pecan, butter almond, sweet brown sugar, mocha, chocolate fudge, whatever you want. We got the flavor, you can savor. There's no excuse to be going outside your race. The black man dates the white woman because the black man wants to be a white male. And the way he rescues his self-esteem is by taking the hand of his oppressor in marriage with the ridiculous rationale that if I can get a white woman, then maybe I am halfway as good as a white man.
Wow, let's talk Chris Brown, because we know that Chris Brown recently been getting into this big trouble with a lot of people due to a lyric that's in a song of his that simply says, I only F with black bees with pretty hair. And people took that and they ran with it. Now, when I first originally seen it, excuse me?
Nice hair.
Oh, with nice hair. I'm sorry, with nice hair. And when I originally seen it, to be quite honest, I'm so over social media. I'm over what people use it for. To be honest, like I don't care about having 1 million followers. Give me the $1 million if you're gonna get. I don't want you to follow me on there. Follow me in real life. Follow what I'm doing for the people in real life. Forget all of that extra stuff for Instagram. However, since we got it, and these days people don't ask you for your resume, they ask you what your IG is. So unfortunately, but so you kind of gotta like it. With that being said, I felt like originally when I read, I was like, here everybody go, trying to tell this man what he can like and different things. But when I actually looked at the lyric myself, that's when I had to actually think about it. In this industry, if you have a platform, whether you want to be a leader or not, you have an obligation now. So when you use your platform, the things that you say, the things that you do, it matters. And for Chris Brown from Virginia, shout out to VA, for him to say it, at the end of the day, you can have your preference, but we also know what that means when you say you only deal with black women with What was the word?
Nice hair.
With nice hair. So what is your take on that actual lyric?
Subject. What I mean by that, Chris Brown ain't the first.
No, he's not.
Jay-Z, you go back in his early songs,
Mm-hmm.
talked about dark-skinned women, how he only liked light-skinned women with the wavy hair.
Mm.
Lil Wayne,
Yes, he has.
they've all did it. Kodak Black even went so far as to say, black, I don't want to misquote him, but dark-skinned women are unattractive. Or
Yeah.
he would never date a dark-skinned. They've all done it. Here's the bigger question.
Come on.
For black women who were offended, why do you still shake your ass to the music that degrades you so much?
Woo.
Hip-hop has gotten a pass. Gangster rappers have gotten a pass.
Yep.
They have been allowed to disrespect black women
Mm-hmm.
in her own everyday life, likes, and takes. Reinforce what he verbalized, which is that fine hair is good hair. Because if you're wasting billions of dollars to purchase European hair type, why are you getting mad at him for saying something you already believe yourself? Again, restoration.
Yes.
No amount of money is going to change that. We got to change it ourselves.
Yes.
Which is why I love all black women. Perm, weave, I love all my sisters.
Thanks.
But at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, every teacher, and although it's a boys' school,
I love this.
we will have male and female teachers. They must be 100% happy to be nappy.
I love
There
it.
will be no perm, weave, nothing but your natural God-given hair.
Yes.
It can be a blowout, Caesar, afro, locks,
Yes.
whatever you want to
But
do.
happy nappy.
But it must be happy to be nappy.
Woo!
And when we open up the girls' school, because since we got two schools,
Come on, too.
we might turn that other one into the Anna Douglas Amy Garvey Academy.
Come on.
She got to be happy to be nappy.
Got to be happy to
We will be the first school in American history where the senior class prom will feature no artificial hair.
That is amazing, though.
And then some women will say, especially our feminist sisters,
Of course.
who are you to tell us how our daughter should wear our hair? I'll tell you, because as an educator who happens to be a psychologist, the first thing I got to change about a black girl before I teach her anything else is how she views herself.
Speak.
If I don't change the perception of beauty in the mind of the black female child, I have failed her.
Yes.
The first education is an education in self-love. And if you don't teach them self-love and self-acceptance and self-worth, you've taught them nothing.
Taught him nothing.
She could have a PhD in aeronautical science, but if she walking around with a blonde head of hair, I failed her.
Come on.
Period.
You know what? I'm going to speak on that because I am a woman and I have natural hair up under this crochet of this. So I'm going to so if you like it, tell me you like it. I do it myself. But anywho, I do love protective styles, but on my page, I preach all the time that it's good. If you want to put a crochet in your hair or whatever, that's fine. But what's up under that hair is what's going to ultimately matter. You have to take care of your hair. Love is not just in the air, but it's in the hair. And you have to know that weave, you don't want to wear weave all your life. There comes a time when you want to go to the pool and you want to be able to put your edges on up, honey, and put your hair in a nice top knot bun. And if you're wearing weave all your life, you will never have that opportunity. So if we start these kids, because I see kids now that's 4 years old with braids in their head. Their mama is already getting their edges in the braid. That is a no-go. Oh, my baby hair won't grow. Well, your baby is 4, ma'am.
Let it grow.
Let it
Leave
grow.
it alone. Which, I don't know if our sisters know this, in many traditional African cultures, you cannot touch your hair, meaning cut it or do anything with it until you were spiritually initiated.
Wow.
And let me tell you why. In our culture, your hair, first of all, your head is the seat of the divine.
Come on now.
Your soul goes between your gut to your head because that's the spinal cord. The spinal cord
Yes.
is the informational highway of spirit. Right?
Yes.
That's why sometimes you feel spirit in your gut.
Yes.
Sometimes you feel it in your heart. Sometimes you feel it in your
Yes.
third eye. Right?
Woo.
So, with the head being the shrine of God, this is where soul is seated. Your hair becomes the antennas of God consciousness.
Wow.
So your head is like an antenna on a TV.
Yes.
It pulls down divine information. Right? That's why when you comb black hair, it got electric in it. Our hair is electrical because it is the electrical conductors of the spiritual system. So what happens when you fry it? when you kill it.
Come on.
You see that?
Yeah.
You're cutting off God's ability to communicate through you because your crown chakra is up here with your hair. And your hair is the antenna that pulls down the God power. So if you fry it, cut it, destroy it, you are interfering with your ancestors' ability to communicate with you.
Y'all, he always dropped gems already. Now, anybody who watch my show know I love to do a part where I say, give me your gem dropper. You know what a gem dropper is. You've been doing it all show. We got one more question. And to end this, I want you to tell us one more time, remind everybody on what you're doing tonight, where they can meet you. We're still going to make sure we pull up that address for you guys because we need y'all there. But I want you to answer this last question. After this last question, I want you to follow that thing up with a gem dropper. And this gem dropper right here is just whatever you want to put out there to the people from your heart through your mouth, okay?
Right.
Do you think black men date outside of their race based on demographics because there is a lack of black women in certain cities?
That's the most ridiculous thing that I heard. I don't think there's a lack of black women in any city. And even if there is, then go to a city that has them. Let me explain something. Values determine behavior, not circumstances. Do you follow me?
I follow you.
If I value black women, I could be in a town with all white girls. But because I value black love, because black love matters and black wives matter, not just black lives, but black wives matter.
That.
I'm going to go to a town that got black women and find me a queen because I value them. On the flip side, if I don't value black women, I'll make up any excuse possible. Listen, I went to college with all white girls. I had white girls who were in love with Dr. Umar. I had white girls, I remember I came back from the first Million Man March, 1995, and the white girl Beth in my psychology class. She was thick, built like a sister, big butt, the whole nine. Beth was in love with me. She wanted to be my wife. I went up to the front of the class to speak with a teacher, came back to my desk. There was a card on my desk. In a hot second, she put it there while I wasn't looking. I opened up the card, and in the middle of a class with all white kids, flowers and confetti flew all out from Beth, thanking me for going to the Million Man March, telling me how much she stood by me. She would call me, message me, but I value black love.
Come on.
Nothing against Beth, but I value black love. When I worked on my doctorate, there was 2 white girls who liked me when I was working on my doctorate.
Wow.
One of them, again, built like a sister, body like Serena. Right? She would come
Serena?
with mini skirts and stilettos, and all the white boys knew it was all for me. Because soon as she would sit down, they would do one of these. And let me know, here go your girl. Right? Mm-hmm. But I value black women.
Come on.
So because I value black women, I've never had the urge to sleep with, date, marry, or cohabitate with a white girl. And guess what? Life is so much easier when the white girls know you don't want them anyway. Because when they don't know that, you end up like Bill Cosby.
Woo!
You'll end up like O.J. Simpson. You'll end up like Ezekiel Elliott. I need to keep on going about all these black men who get their lives destroyed or nearly destroyed because they like pink cookies. I don't like pink cookies.
Come on now.
A pink cookie ain't done. A pink cookie ain't been cooked. I like my cookies brown. In fact, you can even make them chocolate if you want to, but I don't mess with pink cookies.
Come on, give me some. Listen, y'all, if y'all see Rocket Power, I'm a 90s baby, okay? And on Rocket Power, they do a little thing that says woogity woogity. Can you give me some woogity woogity? All you gotta do is do like this. It's just like this. No, but with my hand. Woogity, 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 okay?
Woogity,
Watch
woogity.
Rocket Power one day when you get home, okay? I asked your
And
kids
I'm so
about it.
happy and I'm so proud to say this. Last Saturday, exactly a week ago, I conducted my very first marriage wedding ceremony. First time ever.
Get out.
To my good friends, Montrese and Chris. Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Christopher and Montrese Badson.
Yes.
Congratulations to y'all. Y'all look stunning. The wedding was beautiful, and I thank y'all so much for thinking so much of me to allow me to marry you guys. So I'm saying that to say, I love black lives and black wives, and black lives matter, black wives matter, black love matter. That if anybody wants Dr. Umar to come and marry you, I have added that to my list of services to the community. I now conduct wedding ceremonies. So if you want to get married the right way, I throw a little ancestors up
Oh,
in there.
shucks now. Look, I'm
Ain't
doing my
nothing like
God
a Dr.
renewal.
Umar. So anybody get married, but I will not do a marriage if you marry a white girl. Don't you dare call me for no damn interracial marriage. But if you need somebody to marry you, Dr. Umar now does weddings.
Dr. Umar, y'all might catch him October 3rd, 2020 on my 10 years. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
we got to get the king in the building.
One
okay?
day after Nat Turner's birthday.
Come on, I'm just saying.
Yes, indeed. And also, Saturday, August the 17th, Marcus Garvey's birthday. We may be having a Marcus Garvey African Family First block party right outside the school. So all y'all who have never seen the school, you might got to come up to Delaware so you can tour the school. We're going to have some food, some entertainment, some spoken word. You understand? Some T-shirts. August the 17th, I'm waiting to get the approval from the city of Wilmington to block the block off. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it a whole weekend. So we're going to do the FDMG Marcus Garvey birthday block party on Saturday the 17th. On Sunday the 18th, we're going to go to Baltimore to the Great Blacks and Wax Museum. On Monday the 19th, we're going to go to the Frederick Douglass House and the Smithsonian National Museum. Okay, and then on the 20th, we're going to do some paintball in the park. We're going to fight with each other. And then on the 21st, we're going to go to Nat Turner land. Where Prophet Nat Turner led the bloodiest slave revolt in American history. August the 21st, 1831, you will relive the war. You will walk through. You will see the church where Nat Turner used to preach at. You will see the yard where Nat Turner was hanged at. When that white man walked in there, Thomas Gray, and said, you said God put you on this path. Nat Turner said yes. He said, well, most of your comrades have been captured and killed. You're about to atone at the gallows yourself. So if you claim that God put you on this mission and now you're about to die for it, wouldn't you have to admit that your Lord has failed you? And Nat Turner, that bold black man, looked up at Thomas Gray and said, not at all. My Lord has not failed me because even Christ had to be crucified.
Come on. Woo!
400 years. We not waiting 401. Charlotte, tonight, 8 o'clock, Carol Hoefener Center, doors at 7. Bring the children, bring the elders, bring your white girlfriend, bring everybody. The Prince of Pan-Africanism is in the Queen City.
Come on now. Yes, you guys. Thank y'all for joining. Doggone, Dr. Umar Johnson has been vibing with your girl Jazzy B. I'm going to let him in with a gem dropper. And I want you to look right at the camera, right at K, the Cam Killer. He's going to take your gem dropper right here and then let everybody know where they can follow you when you're done with your gem.
I had a great-grandfather who was taught by Dr. Booker T. Washington. When Booker T. Washington was born a slave, he walked to Hampton Institute in Virginia. Could not afford the tuition. He begged the white principal for an opportunity to work his way through college, which he was granted. After he graduated, the black community in Tuskegee, Alabama called to Hampton and said they were looking for a black man to come to teach black folks how to make a living. Booker T went to Tuskegee, and when he got there was no school building. He had to use a half-finished barn, old church storefront, whatever the case may be. And on July the 4th, 1881, he opened up the Tuskegee Institute in normal school. Booker T. Washington's first students showed up and they said, Booker T, where's our dorm, where's our library, where's the dormitories and the lecture halls? And Booker T said, you're standing on it. And Booker T. Washington made the students of Tuskegee pull up their sleeves. And they dug up the ground. They made their own food, their own clothes, their own buildings. They became so famous for making bricks that the white construction companies would buy bricks from Tuskegee students instead of from white construction companies. Then he said, I need a scientist. He heard of a black man from Iowa named Dr. George Washington Carver, the first of his race to get a doctorate degree in agricultural science. At the time, Dr. Carver was being offered lucrative contracts from engineering companies because he was considered the top scientist in America. Not black, period. He turned it down to go work in Tuskegee. When he got to Tuskegee, he asked Booker T. Washington the same questions that Dr. Washington's students had asked of him a few years prior. Where's the lecture hall? Where's the dormitory? Where's my apartment? Booker T said, George, all we have is what you see. Dr. George Washington Carver, also born a slave, castrated as a child. White people removed his penis because they was afraid he would want to touch their daughter. That's why Dr. Carver never had children and always had a high-pitched voice. By the way, he never cashed a single paycheck while he was at Tuskegee, and he outlived Booker T. Never cashed a check. Booker T went to the trash dump of Tuskegee, and out of the trash of students, he took copper, aluminum, tin, paper, metal, and from the garbage, he gave us over 300. I'm even here to let my haters know. I've been practicing for 20 years. Game time just now started.
Come on, game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game
Game
time.
time.
Come on. Yes, this is Dr. Umar Johnson, y'all. You already know he just blessed us with an amazing show. So if you at home, make sure you text somebody and say, y'all missed it. But you can catch it next Wednesday at 8:30, WDRB Media on iHeart Radio with your girl, Jazzy B. You got anything else to say? Because you said a lot.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tonight, North Carolina. Give me some hugs. We're going to take some pictures. I want to hug all my beautiful African queens. I want to pound up all my kings, soldiers in the struggle. I want to see all the little boys, the little girls, and let them know that the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy is coming soon. And it ain't just going to be in Wilmington. We got to find a school building right here in Charlotte because we need an FDMG Charlotte.
Yes.
We need an FDMG Raleigh.
Yes.
FDMG Durham. FDMG Jacksonville.
Yes.
FDMG Wilmington. We need an FDMG in every city in North Carolina where black folks living at.
Facts. I got to get you to come to Dinwiddie, Virginia, man.
Let's do it.
We got to get you in Virginia for sure.
I'm
Again,
ready.
one more time,
I'm
all
ready.
right?
Nat Turner Land, VA. Let's do it.
Bring it in. I got to give you some hugs because you are amazing. Oh, my goodness. Oh,
See if I can get another crack.
I need it. Thank you. I needed that so good. Oh, I felt it in my body. Good God. Let me tell you something. You somebody. Woo. I felt like I was in church just now, but I'm talking about like back in the day before all of before it really became a business.
I got you.
You get what
I
I'm
got
saying? This is what
Old time religion.
old time religion where you speaking.
Speak to your soul.
Speaking to your soul. Oh my God. I swear I didn't want to end it. I did not want to end this interview at all. I feel like you know me. You know I did not want to end
What was
this.
crazy was you had about 30 seconds before it ended.
Get out of here. So she was right on time. Divine
I
time.
felt it in my heart. I was like, all right, yo, gotta end it now. But dog on it. So check this out, Dr. Umar. I want to get you with my
Somebody said you're beautiful. She married Brother Stephen. 10 years, brother. 10 years coming up.
Come next year now, okay? Yeah. Slowly but surely. That's like I'm in church on slowly. I need to know what kind of food you desire in your life.
I'm flexible. I'm a fish man, mostly.
Okay. Oh, he makes
Sea bass, salmon, whatever y'all want to do. Flounder, it don't matter.
Do you
Tilapia.
eat shrimp and different things?
Oh, I love seafood.
Now, let me
I'm
tell
a
you something.
seafood master.
This man right here, he makes the best shrimp and grits your heart have ever eaten.
Where you at? Let's do it.
Let me call him because
Let's do it. Shrimp and grits coming out.
Shrimp and grits coming
Which
up.
one you talking about?
Chef Jazz, you already know I'm gonna call him. And you know he knows Dr.Umar Johnson, so you know he's all into it. So
Well, it looked like you had about 500 watching on my page.
yeah, they was going in on your page.
Yeah, we gotta get some photos.
Yes, we gotta get some photos.
Make sure we shout out.
8 o'clock, Charlotte. We in the building tonight. Carol Hoefener Center. Doors at 7. Message at 8. Bring the babies, bring the elders, bring the coons, bring everybody. We're going to baptize them back into that black consciousness. We working on the Marcus Garvey block party at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Put it on your calendar, Garvey Day, and then 4 days later, Nat Turner. So I'm going to make it a quadricentennial celebration weekend. Dr.P.O.P.A quadricentennial weekend. Saturday the 17th, FDMG block party. Sunday the 19th, Great Blacks of Wax Museum. Okay. Monday the 20th, we're going to do the Frederick Douglass House and the Smithsonian. Tuesday the 21st, Nat Turner with a 400-year libation. We're going to name 100 ancestors for each of the 4 centuries for a total of 400 ancestors for 400 years. Get ready. I'm going to have a bus as well for some of y'all who want to drive down from the Philly, Delaware area. But for my North Carolina peoples, y'all need to drive up South Carolina, Tennessee, West Virginia, Alabama, Florida, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Cali, Phoenix. You feel me? Des Moines, Iowa, Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, Boston, New York, Connecticut. Shout out to my Rhode Island people. You know what I mean? All y'all get ready. Quadricentennial weekend. It's the Prince. 215-989-9858. Get them donations in, y'all. Get them donations in. I want to get at least one of those buildings up and ready before it get cold outside. Cash.me/$FDMG school. This is not a moment. It's a movement.